flag on your trigger and be like, this is what's making you upset.
Yes.
This is the need that is going unmet. The next time you get angry, the next time you feel anxious, the next time you feel anything of discomfort to you, ask yourself what need is going unmet right
Or do for triggers for me, I noticed, and that came with part of the raptor, is the realization,
now.
realizing and accepting and being real why that triggered you.
Yeah, and you have to ask questions.
Yeah.
And that actually leads me to step two. You have to ask open-ended discovery questions and go at least 5 whys deep. So let me explain what that means. When I say 5 whys deep, let's say you have like, okay, we'll use the example from earlier, what we've been talking about. Um, I will use the I feel message and say, I feel, what's a good word? I feel neglected when you leave on my birthday. I know that's not really the word I don't want to use, but let's just use that.
Okay.
I feel neglected when you don't celebrate your birthday with me and you could. Okay, why? Well, I feel neglected because you're one of the few people that I care about, and your presence is important to me. So when you take it away, I feel like you don't love me. Okay, well, why? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Where did that start? How far back does this feeling of abandonment or neglect go?
That's part of that trigger.
And why? And like, so if I'm not aware of all that backstory, then, and it happens too often, then my automatic reaction is probably going to be anger.
Yes.
Or avoidance or something like that, because I'm always protecting myself subconsciously. I always gotta try to protect myself and feel good. So I might avoid, or I might just blow up and whatever. Why are you so mad? And you can't even really say. All you can say is, "Well, you made me mad." No, 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 no. Anger is a secondary emotion.
Yeah.
So what's the real deal?
Right.
Oh, well, I felt abandoned. Oh, okay. Now we get into the real. That's what we. That real, okay? So you want to ask yourself open-ended discovery questions and stay in discovery. Ask yourself questions like why or where did this come from? Why do I feel this way? Where did this emotion come from? Anything like that. Go 5 questions deep, 5 whys deep, and just ask yourself why. Same way a kid would. Why? Why? Until you can't answer them. And journal about that. That's tip number 3. Tip number 3 is to log and journal your new discoveries. So as you are asking yourself these questions, as you are learning more about yourself, as you're uncovering whatever's under all those year-long band-aids that you've left over those wounds that ain't never healed, you just keep slapping band-aids on top of it.
I know.
When you start peeling those things away, you want to write those things down. Because just writing it, I promise you, just writing it is releasing.
Yeah.
And when you experience something similar to that, you're going to remember, I wrote about this last week.
I be writing all the time about mine because I really want to know, so I have a long list of triggers. I do. And I try to write down why, and be like really, really honest with myself. You
want to be honest and objective.
And objective with myself of the whys. A lot of the my whys and my triggers, just like everybody, they all stem from when we was little kids.
Yeah.
They all stem from when we were little kids, and I think that is not. I know that's why I'm a really honest person, and I'm learning how to word my words better because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You can say anything, it's just how you say it. But as a kid, I would always be told that I was lying. So that's why I'm so honest as an adult. And, it could probably be taken as being rude, or it could be taken as being a person that's really forward. But I try and tell the truth and be very itemized because I don't want nobody saying I'm lying.
But so let me ask you this: when you are being so honest and truthful and transparent, how does it feel then when someone comes up to you and accuses you?
Well, that's where my facts come in, and that's why I'm itemized. Because tell me where I'm lying at.
Receipts.
Tell me where I'm lying. Now, maybe you didn't like my delivery, but tell me where I'm lying and help me to word it different. Because a lot of times, you can't say it's unless you do have something where you have receipts to contradict mine. But I just try to be honest. Again, I'm working on my delivery. By the time I get 50, I'll know how to.
And we are going to be talking about communication on the EI clinic as well. So we can definitely dive deep into communication because I heard that too growing up. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that's only because I was always conscious of what I said. Right? I was always not trying to hurt people's feelings. Right. However, yes, sometimes it is what you say. Yeah. I think it's both. Yeah. And people forget that it can be both. It could be what you say you should not have said. You should not have said that. And sometimes it is just how you said what you said. Yeah. If I gave correction to somebody at the workplace, the same way that I give correction to a close friend, I'd probably get called on for HR. Because it's just not the place, not the time. There's different ways that it can be done. Yeah. So sometimes it is what you say, but that's a whole other conversation about communication. We talk about communication styles, the red flags that come with these communication styles, and which communication style you think you probably should be doing, and you think that you're a communicator, and you're really not. You're not.
See, I'm not a communicator. I'm learning through this system. The Raptor has really helped. It's helping me understand and become, in addition to therapy, it is helping me to become a better communicator because I can say that with my honesty and transparent, I may not be the best communicator. So by the time I turn 50, I'm gonna have it down. I'll be a lot better communicator.
Yes, indeed. So just as a recap on the 3 tips, we had number 1, notice your triggers. Number 2, ask open-ended discovery questions. And number 3, log and journal your new discoveries. Okay, so you can go back at any time and go, wow, I've grown, or I'm still messed up.
Because I have grown. I have grown. Now, I have grown a lot. And I can say I've grown a lot over the year. Over the year. Not years.
No, yeah, I heard that.
Over the year. Yeah, the singular. Over the year.
The 1 year. Yeah, for sure.
And that is why I believe in the Raptor so much, because it has assisted me and helped me in my communication skills. Because I can say that I may be a pretty transparent, maybe brutal, maybe, I don't know, communicator. So by the time I'm 50,
and that's what we're talking about. I think we'll probably make communication segment maybe a 3 or 4 part series.
Yes.
Just because I do want to hear from
other people.
I'll probably invite some guests. If you're in LA and you know how to get to Western and 105th, I need y'all to come down and be part of our audience. We're in a lounge. So bring your little snacks and drinks. We got couches everywhere. Stay with the snacks. Stay with the snacks.
I stay with the snacks. I'm always hungry. If y'all want to DoorDash and send us some food, you can. Y'all know, anybody that knows me, know I will eat it.
That is the way to a woman's heart. I'm telling you.
If you know how to cook, you can send some food or DoorDash.
We'll be glad to taste.
I'll taste it. I will taste it.
So
I will taste it.
We like food sponsors.
Food.
And drink sponsors too. So if you got wine and you need some promo, send us a glass. No, but typically we do go over Reddit to see if there's a situation submitted by a different user to figure out what the emotional intelligence aspects of it is. Absolutely. But since we use my own example throughout, I think we're safe for this particular episode to X that out.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap up on developing self-awareness, did you have any last words?
Perseverance with what we started out with today is just persevering through all of those emotions, those thoughts, those voices, the depression, the feeling stuck.
Yeah.
Because we're human, and like I said, I don't want to get on here and not be real. Just feeling stuck, and like literally feeling stuck and not even being able to move. But just pressing, physically feeling like you cannot move. Because I have felt like that, where it feels like it's just a rock on your chest. And if you want to move, you can't even move. But to press through that, to persevere through that is what I feel is a word that we should keep on repeat in our head this week. It's persevere, persevere, because it has a meaning in itself. You don't have to have another word with it to make it have a meaning. Persevere is a word in itself, and it means to just keep going no matter what. And just know, even if they're not liking your post or your picture, they see you. So just persevere. They watching, or even not even watching. It has nothing to do with watching, but I mean to, no matter who's watching, to persevere. No matter who, do you, no matter what, that business, that goal, that whatever it is, whether it be to just get up and turn your neck on the pillow one morning, persevere through that. Because there has been a morning where all I could do was turn my neck. And I had to right. Turn your neck. Look,
no,
I'm good.
We ain't doing this
right today.
I want to bring up the definition of persevere just so that everybody's on the same page. We will always be looking up actual definitions.
Absolutely.
Not just going off what we think the word means.
Right.
So for those wordle people out there, perseverance means to continue in a course of action even in the face of difficulty or with little or no prospect of success. That's exactly what that is. That's in relationships, in job, in life, in mental health maintenance, the whole nine. But I will say this too. Sometimes your perseverance may lead into martyrdom. And that's where discernment and wisdom comes in. So without prayer and guidance and meditating, studying to show yourself approved, you might find yourself on a lopsided side of perseverance. Well, if I just stick it out, it's gonna be. You gotta pray first while you're over there in that toxic relationship situation.
You might have to persevere to get done on the other side, right?
God's like, here's a lifeboat. You're like, what? God's gonna save me. And it's like, I just sent you a boat, a plane, like a raft. So perseverance is gonna keep you on an island by yourself sometimes if you're not adding wisdom and discernment into all of that. Best way to get that is to connect with the Most High. Okay. So with that being said, thank you guys for tapping into the EI Clinic. We went over self-awareness today, developing that. See, the next one we're actually going to be talking about self-regulation.
Oh, that's a good one. Because see, you guys, this is how this is set up. I am the experiment, and this is the author. So because I need it. I need the raptor, okay? I need this emotional intelligence for this life that God is taking me through. So when I get to 50, I'm going to be all right.
Just so everybody know, too, when she's saying raptor, I have a framework that helps explain how to bounce back. And it utilizes different things like anger management, emotional intelligence, stuff like that. Kind of rolled into one. But raptor is an acronym.
Yes.
Okay, so when you guys start to listen a little bit more, you'll be able to hear me say, oh yeah, the thought ninja, and raptor, and this phase and that phase. It's a whole thing. Okay. I probably won't talk about it until after the actual workshop itself starts to take off, but you will see a little sprinkle here and there. I still got some value for you guys. We're going to be talking about self-regulation next week. Um, discovering effective strategies for managing your emotions and impulses. Impulsive decision making can ruin your life. Okay. Also enhancing your ability to navigate challenging situations with composure.
Mm-hmm.
And strategies of maintaining respect when you're out of composure.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's not going to always be regulated. So when
Right.
it goes off the hinges, you
When it
got to
goes
be
this
able
way.
to reel it on back and still have other people respect you, even though they just witnessed chaos.
You have to. And then they still have to look at you the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into that. We got stories upon stories upon stories. Okay. We
Because
live
I am the experiment.
We live this.
I'm following what she said. So I may get out of character. I may go off a little bit off the curriculum. But as long as we bring it back to the curriculum, it is a success.
It's a success. So thank you guys for tapping in. This is our first official show of the EI Clinic. We have Ronessa here. You have me, Billionaire Bryt. And we will be back. We are live from Elite Tasties on 105th and Western.
Do we want to tell them where we're at?
Yes, we do, because we want a live audience at some point.
Okay. So it's okay. So come, yes. You guys come. It's gonna be fun. It is fun.
Real fun.
Real fun. Real fun. Real fun.
Y'all starting to see us at the beginning, but that's just where we starting at. We got levels upon levels upon levels to achieve, and you guys are definitely gonna want to be along for the ride. So,
absolutely.
Peace and hair grease. Y'all got this, and when you don't, God got you. Okay? Yeah.
I love it. That was good. Okay, I loved it. That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
I know we can bring it in, like control more like bounce. Because everything is what I've learned is everything is scripted. Not scripted, but scripted. So like if we
okay, so let me show you something.
Okay.
Let me see. Mike, I want to show you something too.
Let me see.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. I just wanted to say hi.
Hey. Aww. Are you still at the studio?
Yeah.
Y'all finished?
Yeah, we waiting for people to leave.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, we just sitting here recapping